Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we are back with Hangar Control and X-Plane 12. We're going to be talking about some integration points that people have a lot of questions about and how to use the X-Plane plugin based on how you feel like using Hangar Control. We're going to talk more about that in just a minute, so stick around. One app designed to do it all. Hangar Control brings everything together: control bindings, hardware configuration, mod and profile management, application launching, add-ons, config files, and more, all managed from a single application. Mods Hangar goes beyond just mods and add-ons. It manages profiles, config files, text files, backups, snapshots, and helps keep your community folders clean and organized. Application Hangar launches your entire SIM stack with a single click. Your Stream Decks are fully controlled through the Hangar Control plugin, while all of your other Stream Deck plugins remain active and available. Built by a simmer for simmers, Hangar Control adds new features and hardware support every week based on community feedback. It's a one-time purchase with lifetime updates, no subscriptions. You can try it for free for 5 days with no restrictions at overkillsimulations.com. Just create an account, head to your account page, download the latest version, and get started. And if you're looking for in-depth Microsoft Flight Simulator aircraft tutorials, check out my Patreon site. Links to Hangar Control and Patreon are down in the description below. Alright folks, so first off, if after watching this video you are interested in trying Hangar Control, be sure to go to overkillsimulations.com and then create your account first, whether your intention is to purchase the software outright, or if your intention is to try the 5-day free trial. You still must create your account first, or you will run into issues. From there, to initiate or execute the features I'm about to show you, you need to make sure you're on version 2.0.8, which will be releasing tonight, being Saturday the 21st. Okay, until this version has been released to 0.8, do not attempt the following steps or they will not work. Now, if you're launching Hangar Control for the first time and you've never set up X-Plane 12, or 11 for that matter, there's a few steps you need to do before we can get into this. First, go to the Settings tab. Scroll down till you find X-Plane 12. Find your X-Plane directory. Auto detect works, I would say, 98% of the time, as with X-Plane is significantly easier than locating the community folders as there's less discrepancy, and they didn't bury it into a ridiculous directory like Microsoft did. Okay? Now, once you have your directory set and you have verified, please, even if you use the auto detect and it looks right, please verify that the directory is truly accurate. Once that is done, scroll to the bottom, select Save Changes. That will force the installation of the plugin. Also, if you are updating Hangar Control, you've been using it on X-Plane, you will still need to, at the very least, open the settings menu, come down and hit Save Changes to reapply the updated plugin. Okay, that is going to be a requirement regardless of whether you're first time starting Hangar Control or you are updating. You must come in and update the X-Plane plugin by selecting Save Changes. Then, if again you're on this for your first time, you will then need to create an X-Plane profile. What you name it is completely up to you. The critical piece is when you create it that you select the simulator type as X-Plane 1112. That is another requirement. If you do not do that, the following process will not work. Okay? All right. So now let's talk about the two different scenarios that have been brought to my attention by request. When I first created the plugin for Hangar Control, the idea behind it was that you would bind everything inside of Hangar Control. Hangar Control would take full control, see what I did there, of the experience for you. Your yoke, your rudders, your brakes, your throttles, etc., buttons, switches, yada yada. But then a request came down the line of, what if I want to keep my axis, such as my yoke, and my rudder pedals or whatever it may be inside the sim, but I want to take advantage of Hangar Control's ability to manipulate switches, buttons, encoders, etc. to be able to take advantage of the cool features such as single press, short press, on release, sequence, step, conditional actions, HC custom variables, and much, much more. Well, that was the tricky part. And I thought we had a solution in the previous release, but it was brought to me that it was still very flawed. Well, I have finally gotten this process ironed out. The last piece I do want to mention in regards to installing the plugin before we get into this on how to do this is if you have just installed the plugin for the first time, or if you have just updated the plugin for the first time and X-Plane 11 or 12 was running, you must restart the simulator. The plugins are loaded at launch. They are not updated with new installations. So if you install a plugin while X-Plane is running, you must restart X-Plane for that plugin to be initialized. All right, so with all the pre-steps out of the way, let's get into how this all works. So right now you can see my yoke is moving perfectly fine. Okay, I have this attached right now to my AB6 flight stick. Now let's go ahead and talk about how this all works. So from here, I can go into control bindings. As long as I have my service started, I can, for example, I have the throttle bound to my Bravo. And so if I move the Bravo, you can see the throttle moving there, right? But if I stop the service, nothing's working there, but the yoke still is, because the yoke controls are handled by X-Plane. The throttle is bound in Hangar Control. Okay, start the service again. And I once again have control of both. So right now we are in scenario 2. But now let me show you how to switch them. It's actually a very quick process, which is nice. So here's the kicker. Before we go changing anything in Hangar Control, let's change something inside of X-Plane. So we want X-Plane to control nothing. We want Hangar Control to have it all. So we're going to come in here. You can see axis 6 and axis 7 are bound to the Moza AB6 for pitch and roll. Let's change those to none. Hit done. And now you have a problem. You can see the mouse in yoke automatically appears. The mouse in yoke is a built-in feature within X-Plane that allows you to click on this white plus sign. And once you click on it once, you don't have to hold it. But now when I move the mouse, you can see it controls the yoke. Okay, and then you put it where you want, and you can left click again, and then you're free to navigate your mouse wherever you want. Personally, for me, it drives me crazy, and I think this should be an option within their UI, but to each their own. So now we have to obviously make sure that everything is bound correctly inside of Hangar Control to manipulate the controls and get rid of this. So now let me show you how scenario 1 works. Scenario 1 is Hangar Control has it all. We're going to go into the settings. We're going to scroll back down to the X-Plane section, override X-Plane native flight control handling, check it, and simply close Hangar Control. Now, once it has closed, we're going to restart Hangar Control. It's going to take me a couple seconds longer because I'm in a debug mode. And now we're restarting Hangar Control. Bring it back up here, and as soon as I go into the control bindings, we should see this disappear. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now, if I hit Start Service, you can see that my yoke is now working because of Hangar Control. I only have the ailerons bound right now, so if I open up my yoke, there it is right there. That is my aileron control. We can go into the binding, and you can see yoke roll ratio. So, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to make very clear. For example, if I push forward, you can see nothing's happening. I don't have any elevator control because it's not bound. Okay, so one more time, and you guys can now see this is all working. We still have our Bravo throttle working. If I hit stop service and I move those same controls, so I'm using the flight stick, I'm moving the throttle on the Bravo, I get absolutely nothing. So now let's go back and change it back one more time just so you can see how to revert if you want to do that. So we go back, go to settings, uncheck, back, close. I have to again, I'm in debug mode, so it's taking me a second to close it. Launch my software again. It'll also obviously be much faster for you guys. Go into the control bindings, leave that there. Now guess what? We're going to see something when I move Hangar Control out of the way. the mouse in yoke. In order to get rid of the mouse in yoke, you need to come back in here and rebind your pitch and roll axis. And there you go. Meanwhile, I still have no throttle control because the service here is not started. And now we're back in action. So that is how to split X-Plane 12 up into two different modes of operation. So again, a real quick highlight. If you're installing the plugin or updating the plugin, you must make sure you go to the settings view, make sure your X-Plane 12 or 11 directories are correct, then hit save to reapply the plugin. If your X-Plane simulator was running, at that point you must then restart. Then inside of Hangar Control, you must create an X-Plane 12 profile and make sure that the simulator type is set to X-Plane 11. From there, you need to make sure that if you make a change to the X-Plane handling, whether it be to override or not override, so unchecked is split, meaning that X-Plane controls your yokes, and checked means that Hangar Control takes everything, whether or not you do it, whatever one you choose, you must then close and restart Hangar Control. You do not need to close and restart the simulator, and you'll be up and running to the races. As always, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed these videos, and I hope you consider giving Hangar Control a try. I want to make it very clear and remind everyone that it does far more than handling your control bindings. We have a tools menu that has a bunch of different tools that are great for flight simulation and other simulation tools that are coming. We have a mods hanger that works just like add-ons linker and does much, much more, as it can handle far more than just mod files. It can do config files, pro files, whatever it may be. It can literally copy anything and back up anything. And then you have your application hanger, which is used to manage all of your different applications. Launch a specific profile. So let's say you only want 3 specific applications to launch because you're going on a commercial flight. You can click and create a profile where it will handle all of that for you. And then of course the control binding section. So it does a lot, and there's still a ton more coming. Be sure to join the Discord. Once again, a Discord link can be found in the description of all of my videos if you guys are interested in coming and hanging out, or if you need to report any issues to me. As always, folks, thank you guys all for the love and support over the continued years and with this new project that I have taken on, and I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful weekend.